We live in a world aggressively engineered to pull our attention in 1,000 directions at once. Every day, we intend to focus on long-term goals, but we find our attention hijacked by the nearest hit of dopamine. To understand why we keep losing that battle, we look to this meditation text by Srimath Swami Chidpavanandar. He offers a specific diagnosis, writing here, "To be carried away by the sense pleasures is the way of creatures." This suggests that our vulnerability to distraction is our default biological setting. Remaining on this default setting leaves us as reactive creatures, predictable and unable to direct our lives toward a higher capacity for focus. So how exactly does this hijacking of our attention work on a functional level? Think of your dormant mind as scattered iron filings. When an attractive object appears, they snap into rigid alignment. As the magnet moves, the filings are helplessly dragged along. This automatic pull is driven by the physics of desire. Resisting these temptations using sheer willpower is mathematically difficult as long as the mind is composed of iron. If willpower is insufficient against these forces, we need a different mechanism to break the system. The text provides a counterintuitive instruction, but the evil in them is to be instilled constantly into the enamored mind. Instilling the evil is an analytical process. You have to take that shiny object and visualize its negative consequences, looking past the surface to see the hollow, unstable structure underneath. Passive avoidance is ineffective. You have to change how you perceive the value of the object itself. This active dismantling of desire rewires the brain's automatic responses. Over time, it leads toward a state defined as dispassion. This psychological intervention requires a relentless daily grind. The text characterizes the process of overriding our base nature as a laborious task that demands constant repetition. History is full of individuals who dedicated their lives to this mental restructuring. Looking at these ascetics, we see men who have stripped away every comfort to focus entirely on this internal work. This is the daily reality of the aspirant. Every time a desire arises, they must repeatedly overwrite their mental code, identifying the emptiness in the temptation. The true work of an aspirant is the invisible, exhausting mental labor required to permanently demagnetize the mind. What happens when the laborious task is finally complete and the code is rewritten? We can look to the ancient manuscript of the Bhagavata, which documents the state of a mind that has completed this process. The text describes the opulent court of King Janaka, an environment saturated with tempting agencies, gold, feasts, and sensory indulgences designed to overload the observer. The sage Sukha stands in the center of this sensory overload, completely unbothered. He does not struggle to avert his gaze. Sukha was not tempted because his mind simply did not register the objects around him as desirable. His dispassion was absolute. Sukha did not need willpower because his mind was no longer made of iron. The objective is to change the basic composition of your mind so that you no longer respond to the physics of attraction. Through this conscious conquest of our base nature, we move beyond the reactive life of creatures and, as the text states, grow in dispassion. True freedom is the peace of a mind that can walk through any temptation, completely immune to the pull.